And on this Friday, May 15th, 2026 edition of Newsmakers, the U.S. Supreme Court is allowing an abortion drug to continue to be sent to women by mail for now. Jim Roop reports.
Thursday, the court extended a stay on an earlier ruling by an appellate court that required women to get mifepristone through in-person visits as opposed to telehealth visits. The ruling preserves the right to access the drug by mail as the case plays out in the lower court. The case originated when the state of Louisiana sued the FDA over a move that allowed mail orders of the drug. I'm Jim Roop.
President Trump says Chinese President Xi Jinping is considering the case of detained pastor Ezra Jin Mingra. Trump spoke to reporters at Air Force One as he flew back today. Jin is from an underground church called the Zion Church and was detained in October during what critics have called a crackdown on religious freedoms in China. Jin's Zion Church is among the largest so-called underground or house churches that are unregistered with the Chinese authorities. They defy Chinese government restrictions requiring believers to worship only in registered congregations. In a massive reversal, Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel announced Cuba will accept a standing $100 million U.S. humanitarian aid package. Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez initially rejected the offer, accusing U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio of fabricating the massive deal. Rubio spoke with NBC's Tom Llamas and said he gave strict conditions, saying the critical food and medical supplies must bypass the regime and be distributed directly by the Catholic Church.
The only strings attached is that they have to be distributed by non-governmental sources like the Catholic Church. I was at the Vatican last week. I spoke to the Catholic Church again. They're willing to play that role.
The U.S. Justice Department will seek the death penalty for the man accused of fatally shooting two staff members of the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C., outside a Jewish museum. Prosecutors disclosed the decision in a court filing today. Elias Rodriguez faces federal hate crime and murder charges in the killings of Yaron Lishkinsky and Sarah Milgram as they left an event at the museum last May. The charges against Rodriguez include a hate crime resulting in death. The indictment also includes notice of special findings, which allows prosecutors to pursue the death penalty. A labor union representing USDA employees has sued the agency, citing a violation of the workers' First Amendment right. The lawsuit says AG Secretary Brooke Rollins sent an Easter email to workers that expected them to share her beliefs. The email reads in part, "Sin has been destroyed, Jesus has been raised from the dead, and God has granted each of us new victory and new life." USDA employee Ethan Roberts said, quote, "We work for the federal government, not a church," adding he doesn't want to suffer through sermons by the head of a federal agency. Rollins acknowledged the suit on X, writing, quote, "It's just another opportunity to remind everyone he is risen." And that's Newsmakers for this Friday, May 15th, 2026 edition. I'm Keith Black.